Hey guys, Asian Boy here. So in this video I will be experimenting heavily with Wing Chun, trying to flow with Wing Chun and having that karate in the mix, right? And I say an important key when it comes to experimenting and sparring is to have actual controlled partners. If you're always going constantly hard in sparring, you will never have really room to experiment. You don't have room to make mistakes. And if you don't have room to make mistakes, you're not going to become better. And this is why it's important to have partners who will be controlled in sparring. If you have partners that will always punish you and shut you down every time you try for experimenting anything new, then I wouldn't say they're good partners. And if you are a partner who's dealing with someone who's trying to experiment, I'm not saying let them completely do it, right? Of course you want to kind of resist, right? You want them to work for it, but don't completely shut down your partner and prevent his growth. Don't stunt his growth in martial arts just because you're an asshole. So at this point, in order to have my Wing Chun to work, I need to close the distance. So as you see, I will try to parry, jab, maybe even sidekick him, just to close the distance.
You were fully connected on her.
Oh, you got me too. So at this point, he catches my kick, and instead of him dumping me, we both just kindly acknowledged that he would have demolished me. So yeah, that's kind of funny. So he punched me in the chest, and it actually gave me whiplash on top of my neck. Felt weird.
Good job.
So this is pretty cool. What I noticed is two things happens when I use the Wing Chun guard. When they try punching through my guard, I end up controlling the lead hand and start, punching them back. And it usually tends to force them to go around the guard, which is, well, the point of the Wing Chun guard is to force them to go around it instead of going straight through, like other traditional guards like boxing and such. As I spar with him, I noticed that he would try to block my kicks with his arms, and that's just not how you block a kick. You never block a kick with your arms, and this is what happens when you block with your hands, when you drop your hands. And of course, since I'm a karateka, I can't just, not do fancy kicks. I mean, come on now. So here's a move that I pulled off that my sensei would always pull off to me. Throw a back fist and then do a side kick. It's a pretty common move he did on me, and well, you learn from the best. Begin. Keep your hands up.
Oh. What was that? What were you trying to do? I got behind you, I can pick you up.
And just in case you guys didn't know, I'm gonna now just give some backstory on two of my friends. The man in the blue shirt, he has really no experience in actual any martial art, but he just joined in today just for the hell of it, just to get that workout in, just to have fun, you know? Because that's what we're all about, having fun. And my friend Martinez, the one in the black shirt and, you know, very tall and muscular, he's a boxer. He has boxing and wrestling experience, and that's about it. No kicking art, but he's experimenting with kicks and trying to get better at it, just as much as I'm trying to experiment with, you know, my boxing and Wing Chun. You should always be experimenting and trying new stuff when you're sparring, especially when it's light sparring, because then you have plenty of room to make a mistake. Just like a pup when they're learning how to hunt, if they make a mistake, there will always be another day, right? The mother doesn't kill the pup just because they make a mistake, because that's how real life is,
there you
right?
Go. Shake hands. Good job.
So lately I've been watching a lot of Ramsey Dewey, and I'll put a link in the description of a video I was copying. And in one of his videos he talks about using helmet guard in MMA, and how instead of using your thin gloves as protection, you use your forearms. And honestly, it's been working pretty well. Link in the description if you guys are interested. This is pretty fancy. I tried pulling up a little crane front kick on my friend as just a little experiment, and just to joke around. It's always good to take things light and to joke around when you're playing with your friends and sparring with them. So at this part, I did bong sao, and then I tried doing a back fist, but I missed horribly. He then framed by using his forearm against my throw. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that worked beautifully, because that definitely backed me off. And here's a piece that was absolutely beautiful. I then did bong sao into a roundhouse kick to his armpit, and if you've never been hit in the armpit, man, you're missing out on pain. At this point, I then try experimenting by controlling his lead arm with my arm. But then, you know, obviously as a normal person would, he starts resisting, but I just keep experimenting with it and hopefully get good. Where I made a mistake though is by committing two hands, because then he front kicked my ribs, and man, that was a beautiful shot from him. At this point, I try clinching with him and doing hand fighting, and really trying to apply that Wing Chun. And it is difficult because he is a resisting opponent, but that's only making me better at, well, Chi Sao. So at this point, I start using a little bit of my boxing because I felt like it needed to be used and I wanted to try to close that distance. So I started using more head movement just to close the gap and throw some of those hooks and uppercuts.
Begin. Would you like to continue, or would you like to tap out there? Alright, ready? Alright, ready? Alright, touch flow. 3, 2, 1. Continue. Keep your hands up.
Now, here's something I found interesting. So, since I've been experimenting with Wing Chun and the sensitivity and controlling the lead arm, both of my friends were aware of that. And this is what I thought was interesting, was the fact that my friend here, Martinez, is actually trying to experiment that with as much as I was trying to experiment with that. So, I thought that was pretty cool. Alright, yeah, I mean, there's nothing much else to the video. It's just me and my friends experimenting and doing some casual light sparring. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys like and subscribe.
Good job.
Peace.